Yes. Back again. Coffee break with JN is back again. Little coffee break swing. Coffee break with JN. And the caffeines, you know who you are, caffeines. Friends of regulars on decaf. Going off, not too hard. Pause. Not too soft. Whoa, whoa. Hold on. I gotta clean my screen. That's a little better. Well, hello, guys. Welcome back to Coffee Break with JN. As our good friend Zelda Rubenstein says, all are welcome. All are welcome. No, no, Carol Ann, don't go into the light. You said don't go into the light. Come into the light. No. Welcome back to Coffee Break. Let's do some hellos, you guys. And for some reason, I don't know. I got to check my internet connectivity. I got the little like roar, little like the wavy sign in the corner. So let's say hello to some of these amazing, so amazing caffeines who are in the chat. Let's start off with a hearty, well, hello, yo, what up, Ronaldo? Stick of the planet. You know, the community is real, you guys. It's real. It's FRFR is really real. And, for a lot of us, we chop it up. If you reach out to me, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what's up?" And then you're gonna be like, "Man, don't you?" Okay, I was just saying hi. Let's like, I gotta go. I am that guy. I try to be accessible. I try to be one of the people. I try to give back, and so do you. That's why we're all here together for Tabernacle. Yo, what up, Bill? Good to see you, Bill. You, I see. No, no, notorious. Yo, what up, JRD? I see. I call Shogun. Well, hello. Who else snuck in here? I see to say, yo, Paul Pate. What up, Paul Pate? Paul Pate is the Loki of Pencil to Pencil. Paul Pate's always in the chat saying some wild stuff, and I got to be like, Paul, for real? So I'm going to come to Paul's Saturday morning cartoon drawing session and just start dragging on him. But if you're not familiar with Paul Pate's, got a really chill, like jazzy Saturday drawing thing on his YouTube. Go check it out. I made it. I made it. Yo, what up, Adam? Reed Punk Taco. Good to see you, Adam. How are you, sir? I see Bros checking in. What up, Bros? Bros is hello. I've got soccer on the telly, coffee break in the headphones, iced coffee in the cup. Yo, I got 2 mil on the wrist and quilt blocks on the ironing table. Yo, is it Thursday yet? That's what's up. Good to see you, Bros. Everybody's checking in the chat. Um, and if you, guys, I'm still getting used to this little like Guitar Hero thing over here in the chat. Um, I, I don't know if I love it yet. What do you guys think? That's right, groups in session. What up, Bill? Um, yeah, I don't know. It's. I think at some point it'll grow for me. Pause. I in the StreamYard thing, they're always innovating. I got to give them that. And now they have the online Guitar Hero chat, but it's so tiny, right? It's so tiny. I can't read it, so it's not really helping me. And maybe if you're watching this on your right, Bill, your 99-inch television, your 3,000-inch TV, you can read it clear as day. But I can't. I got my reading Johns on too. I still can't read that. So so Paul Pate was referring to last night. He asked our guest Scott Christian Sava, who was a what's the new phrase, Jared? Okay, YouTuber, who is a prominent YouTuber. It's kind of funny when I'm just saying it in jest because Scott is a brilliant artist and a fantastic human being. And after doing a million different things, like all of us do in this business, we all do a million different things. It's almost like if you're I guess, like a contractor, you make stuff, right? They might go, what's Bill's specialty? Floor and walls. Man, he can hang drywall like nobody's business. Like, you have a specialty, but you can do whatever the job entails, right? I kind of think of that's us as cartoonists. And we had Scott on 4 years ago, you guys, on Pencil to Pencil, when he was promoting Animal Crackers, his movie on Netflix. And since then, he has like a cajillion uh, subscribers on his YouTube channel where he talks about art and he does a lot of painting and he's got a very chill studio. It's literally a hobbit hole that I actually watched him build. I think it was during the pandemic. Like he has got the round door, the whole thing. And Paul Payton was like, "Yo, you think you wear square glasses?" And I was just like, "Okay, if that's what you want to ask, I gotta check. I just gotta check." Uh, I saw rosebuds in the. Well, so hold on. So Paul puts a question in, and then doesn't think we're going to ask it. So I made sure we didn't ask it. How's that? But also I want to, and also there's like a lot of, and this has nothing to do with you, Paul, but when we have guests on who are kind of familiar, like a lot of people we're all kind of in the same kind of tribe, and a lot of people might know people already, and then people will start to kind of like slide in like inside jokes, and like I don't want to do that on the show because it's like what are we trying to do here? Like, are we trying to embarrass the guests? Are we trying to just like go to the guests? Like, save that for your phone calls. I want to try to keep it clean. Yo, D, what up, D Parson? D Parson, yo, first sip of the night goes to Super D. And Super D, I want to give you your props because you've been coming here. Pause. You've been guys. Should we give D Parson their caffeine button? Because I don't think D's missed any of the coffee break with JN's. And I know it's a little different because now I do them every other week. We used to do these every week, and it was easier to kind of gain our community. But should I give D Parson? Should I make him an honorary Avenger tonight? I think that may happen. First sip of coffee for D Parson. Read Rosebuds now daily in your newspaper. Congratulations! What a big get. See, I don't know, and I don't know. I'm the producer, so you got to deal with it. You hear that, D? Jared D says, D, you've earned your stripes. Pause. Bill says, honestly, I like the merge chat on the screen. It's good being able to see the cross-platform messaging. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Like you guys can actually see what other people are doing. Wait, hold on. I didn't even see this. D, you can't request a sip. You can't request sippers. That's something that I grant. But just because we're on the same wavelength, I gave you a sipper anyway. So how's that? D says, I request a sip. I've written and sketched 3 weeks of rosebud strips in less than 24 hours. I'm exhausted. Yeah, you do need a sip. But yeah, that's great news, D. Hey, Caitlin, how good to see you. It's funny. There's all these notifications all over my um, I guess what do you call it? My backstage portal, and like the actual window where I see everybody's chat is like super tiny, and I can't like get rid of this. It's driving me insane. And I think I tried to like biggerize the. I tried to green dot this. So all right, howdy. All right, hold on a second. Kneel before Zod. We'll do it a little later. Thank you, Paul. And and I'm not coming down on anybody. I know that you guys are enjoying yourselves, and everybody's having fun, and everybody's like, you know, take the shoes off. But I'm working here, so like I don't ever want to be put in a spot where I have to kind of guess on live on the fly when I'm doing my arms of Vishnu, know if somebody's joking or not. Like I just sometimes I'll just use my better discretion and I'll just go, I'm not putting that on the screen. Jared knows that because I'm always saying I'm not putting that on the screen, Jared. So like work with me. Jared says, Kidlet has entered the room and says, hello, well, hello, hello. That's right, no requests. Yo. Adriana later on sipping to the wife. She's finishing her 48-page one shot for Motu Andra. Good job. Yeah, let's give a sip for Dre. Uh, uh, Paul Pate said, I'm going insane. Paul Pate says, I wish it would be bigger, be bigger. Pause and scrolling across the bottom, almost like a ticker, like a ticker. Huh? That's interesting. Bill says, speaking of work, is Stone Cold Steve Conley going to be at Heroes Con? Is he usually at Heroes? I'm not sure. I went to Heroes once, and I haven't been back. I had a good time, but it's just I don't know. Jared D is going to be there, right? Dean's Family Productions will be in attendance, and that's a good show too. I like Heroes. It's kind of like the last bastions of a like a family show, like a mom and pop family convention. Everything's getting so corporate. So tonight, over the week, or my off week, I'm always trying to look for. I hate the word content, you guys. I hate saying that word because it's not what we do here. That's not what group is for. It's not content. But I'm always, now that all I talk about is the 80s and Gen X stuff, I get a lot of that algorithm fed to me. And some of it's really great. I don't know. I followed this one short. Oh, because Sava corrected me. I called it a reel. My mistake. Reels are on Instagram. Shorts are on YouTube. Content. Bling, ding. And it's like, do you remember this? And it's like all these like really quick cuts of like 80s stuff. Like there's a kid riding on his bike with the handlebars with the tassels coming out of it. And then somebody's like rewinding a cassette with a pencil. And then I was just like, are we overdoing it, you guys? For my Gen Xers, are we reaching a saturation point with this reminiscent stuff? Are we living in the past? That's scary to think about because I love my 80s, and now that we're getting older, people are like eating up the 90s. And low key, I didn't think the 90s was that hot. I mean, there's a lot of like multicolored tracksuits and the 90s uniform, the teal Charlotte Hornets tracksuit. But I don't have a lot of fond memories of the 90s. I mean, it happened. And I think a really good gauge of that is like if you watch sitcoms from the 90s, they don't seem like they aged well. I mean, some of them, I don't know, maybe it's the way they shot them or whatever. Seinfeld was horrible. Seinfeld is not aging well, and not even the content. Shogun, I might have to put not. It's not the content. It's just like the way it was shot. The clothes are whack. You know what I mean? It's just. mm. So Bill says the member berries will eventually go sour. Oh, so you think that maybe we're kind of biting too deep into the apple? Ronaldo says no. We need to educate the generation of today, the youths. Doing it again. Youths? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Youth. Paul says, my wife and I retell the same stories over and over to each other. Thank you, Adam. Adam says the 70s and 80s were original and dope. The 90s were not dope. I mean, the 90s had a lot of cool stuff. Uh, I mean, music was amazing. You know, a lot of hip hop golden age stuff happened in the 90s. And a lot of forgettable stuff happened in the 90s. But I don't know. And then it got kind of weird. Like, so I just saw again talking about this algorithm I'm in. I see a lot of after school dance show clips. I don't know where you grew up, but I think there were some syndicated ones like Dance Party USA, and they just had a bunch of kids going like this for an hour after school with like really horrible haircuts. And there's a lot of like Stevie J or whatever that whatever that music is, like sped up club music, and everybody's doing the same uh, uh, dancing in the dark hop. And that's where Kelly Ripa came from. Kelly Ripa was on, if I get this right, was on Dancing on Air. Was that it? There was a teen after school, high school dance show that I think either ran out of New Jersey or maybe Northeast Philly. And Kelly Ripa was from Cherry Hill and was one of the dancers on one of those. And also, since this is where we're going, shout out to West Philly, where I'm from. American Bandstand originated in West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then it blew up and they moved to LA. So I have some family stories of some of my family members who used to sneak in the American Bandstand because it was segregated back then. And you couldn't have colored people on American Bandstand, but we was up in there. So I'm forgetting the name of. I think Dancing on Air was one of them. And all right, let's see what the chat's saying. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Paul Pate says I rewatched a bit of Cheers. It was great. Great, like Cheers is dope, right? But Cheers was the '80s. I think this is interesting. I think Roseanne looks good. Even I don't know exactly why, but I think Roseanne feels fresh, even though however you feel about Roseanne Barr, it's a whole other thing. JRD says so many shows of the '90s informed shows of the recent decade. Shows centered around nasty people being jerks to each other. I feel like I'm missing the chat, you guys. I can only see two things at a time. And I can't read the other thing. I feel like I'm at a deficit. Paul Pate says, I was too busy being poor in the '90s. Yo, facts. Plus, I did enjoy the grunge movement past on the '90s. See, like the '90s is like, I mean, there was like a lot of what, like Melrose Place and 90210 and Dawson's Creek and Pacey. There's a lot of Pacey. Bill, we talk about Creasy, right? But there's Ronaldo, we talk about Creasy, but there's also Pacey. My favorite Pacey show was damn it, Fringe. Pita, my son. Fringe was dope, and that wasn't the '90s. That was the aughts. Was Ripper on All My Children? Adam says the '90s were okay, but everything dope in the '90s was really born in the '80s. Yes. By the time the late '90s came out, originality was suffering. Plus, we were older focus on pay, but I got bills. I embarrassingly will admit that I had a well. I'm not embarrassed to say that I had a pager. I had a beeper, and sometimes I'll say things like this. Only people from our generation know what this motion is. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Yo, I gotta go to the payphone. They don't know about that. And my beeper bill was like $4.20 a month. And somehow I got my beeper turned off. I was kind of just like, to pay your beeper bill was a suggestion. Yo, it may be June, but it's always July when my man Julian Lytle's in the building. What up, July? Respect the architect. How are you, my friend? Jared D, we're talking about American Bandstand. I remember a clip from American Bandstand, and all the white girls were going nuts when Dick Clark announced a young singer and the music starts. This was 61. And out steps a young black teen, and the girls went quiet. Yeah, I saw that clip. It was like, I forget who I think it was like Sam Wilson. I can't, not the Black Falcon. I can't remember who it was, but I think people thought this dude was white. And then he came out on stage, and they're just like, if he was doing his thing, and and they just were like, they were not giving it to him. Fringe, Ronaldo says Fringe was great for a couple of years. Last two seasons kind of got over its skis. I like that. I would have used that. Pita. Adam says, I barely watched TV in the 90s. I was broken just paying rent. Yo, and people our age were probably all about their hustle in the 90s. Like, you trying to get money, you trying to like get girls, whatever you was trying to get into was happening in the 90s. Or maybe you got into a really deep relationship and have like really bad outfits. Or you had a giant entertainment center with a big CRT TV in it. Everything was wood. Bill says, see, you now break it down as to who remembers Avery Brooks. How can you forget Avery Brooks? A man called Hawk. Oh, so what Avery Brooks are you? Are you Spencer for Hire, Avery Brooks, or Deep Space Nine, Avery Brooks? Oh, this is great. Ronaldo says, I tried explaining beepers to my sons recently, and they looked at me like I was speaking another language. I mean, it's hard to believe. And, I know a couple of like doctors who I asked, like, you still have beeper? Like, no, we just got rid of them. You just have, you have a paging service? No, we finally got rid of that. Scott, even on the Tribe Called tell him, Adam, even on, was that Low End Theory? Which one has Sky Pager on it? Oh, shit, I forget my stuff. It's not called Sky Pager, is it? I'm getting my stuff mixed up. When I start talking about beepers, I think about that Sir Mix-a-Lot joint called Beepers. Shout out to the P and Dubs. That's what actually on the last coffee break we started talking about dicks. Pause. Out in Rainier, out in the Pacific Northwest, Dick's Burger Stand. That's where the cool hang out. Um, but yes, Sir Mix-a-Lot, he had a cut called Beepers, ding, 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 Beepers, and it's all about him having clout and having a beeper. Um, um, shit, somebody save me. I'm forgetting. My pager stays on from dusk to dawn. In Costa Rica, on a sunset, on a sunlit beach, you page for the Pfeiffer. I can't be reached. I'm off my game tonight, you guys. July says the 90s were better than the 80s from film, games, comics, peak anime is then. Yo, shout out to anime. July, you put a check in that column. Then dance music, peak cable TV shows, and tech looked amazing. All right, I'll give you that. Yeah, 90s anime. Yo. Shogun says beepers are just a notification that you can wear. Yeah, I know. Well, the people I talked to said that their practice got rid of them, but I know people still have them. Yo, what up, Angel? Good to see you, my man. Where you been? Apologies on Broadway. Yeah, that was Low in Theory. Skies with that Sky Pager. Phil, what are you talking about? Shogun, can you please tell everybody if Dick's Burger Stand is really the bomb spot, or is it just like hanging on by a thread? you had you had a beeper. Um, so hold on. Speaking of this, and if I'm kind of if I'm stuttering, let me know because my signal's really weak for some reason. Um, in Philly, you may be familiar that I am from the town of Champions, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So if you even if you don't follow sports ball or football, on the cover of Madden 2026 is Saquon Barkley reverse jumping over a dude's head. And I think people are feeling some type of way about it, even though it's great for the Eagles. People are well aware of the Madden curse. And the Madden curse is whoever's on the cover of the Madden football game that year usually like has, they come home and somebody put their cat in the microwave, like just catastrophes happen to these people. Let's say that's not going to happen. But what I'm getting at is that also, if you hear us talking, if you ever go to a Philadelphia conversation about cheesesteaks, somebody's going to get shot. It's such a big controversy. But as a proud Philadelphian, we will stand 10 toes down on this that Pat's and Geno's are not good cheesesteaks. And when they give you your brochure before you come to my town, they go, "Oh, go to Pat's and Geno's," and everybody's like, "Nah, fam, that's not it." But and a really smart marketing scheme, EA Sports and Geno's got together and they have covered Geno's in South Philadelphia with Madden 26 banners. And, and I think I can't remember what it says now. I think they have a sandwich called Steak Quan Barkley. And everybody's like, yo, that's not it. That's not it. So speaking of dicks, even if you want to get your Saquon Barkley paraphernalia, I ain't going to Gino. Sorry. Shogun says it's legit, all made fresh and everything. That's what's up. And also, I'll tell you guys, this is funny. Even though it looks like I haven't left this chair, I was in Peoria, Illinois, 2 days ago. I flew in for a library talk and then flew right back out. And I was like, yo, this is wild, which was really cool. Um, and shout out to Chicago, a lot of friends and fam in Chicago. Um, well, I'd never been to Peoria, and people were like, "Where's that?" I was like, it's in Illinois." I'm the worst person to ask about where things are. But I felt bad because I wanted to on my way home. I had a layover in O'Hare Airport, and O'Hare Airport is the airport that you will miss your flight because that airport is so big. If it's like you have an hour to get to your next flight, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go dick around over here. I'm gonna go like, fam, you better start running the second you get out of your plane. I, this is probably like the third time I almost missed my flight in O'Hare because I had to like hoof it across the terminal. But If you know anything about Chicago, they have a famous popcorn joint. They have they have nuts, and the name of the place actually has quotes on it. Is Nuts on Clark, and I wanted to bring some Nuts on Clark popcorn home, but I was running for my gate, and I couldn't stop. But shout out to Nuts on Clark. See, Bros, right? It's a Steakquan, right? I'm low key mad at that. It's almost funny, it's almost brilliant, and then it's like it's a little South Philly. Like, even though I have a million nicknames, don't mess with my name. Like, I don't know, I don't know. It smacks a little bit of something. Oh, Eternity Forever, what up? I'm missing the chat, you guys. Hey Eternity, how are you? What did you just walk into? Oh no. Uh, oh wow. So Saquon went to the place. He went to Gino's and they said they asked him to take a bite, and he was like, "No, bro. I mean, if it was a Max's or something." iCall says, "Don't tell me the tourist joints. I want a restaurant that's dingy, and when I talk, everybody looks at me sideways because they immediately know I'm not from here." So that's like the Wiener Circle in Chicago. I think it's kind of like a tourist trap, but you've probably seen it on like Conan, and a couple other places. I think Triumph, the comedy insult dog, went there. It's this like hot dog stand where everybody there kind of curses you out, and it's kind of like goofy white kids always go there, and they're just like so excited to get cursed out by a fat black person, and I'm just like, what are you guys on? But I also, speaking of dicks, I don't know where this is going. Dick's Last Resort used to be, I think they're still around. Does anybody in the chat know if Dick's Last Resort is still around? Was a restaurant chain where the servers insulted you. And when we used to go to San Diego Comic Con, there was a Dick's Last Resort right in the gas lamp. And I went there maybe once, and I was just like, "What are we doing here?" Like you show up in the server like has bibs or like dunce caps and just like writes really ill shit on it and like makes you wear it. And they're like, "What do you idiots want?" Like, no, what it's like you're paying them to get insulted. Yeah, I don't know how we got here. Bill says everyone should go enjoy the shenanigans of Reading Terminal Market instead of Cheetos and Pats. Yo, shout out to Reading Terminal. I don't know where my man Big Joe is, but Reading Terminal is right next to the convention center and is a marketplace right in Center City, Philly, which is kind of like it's almost like a giant farmers market, but everybody has kind of established spaces inside it. And there's a really good diner in there. You can get a pretty decent cheesesteak. I'm not going to say it's like cinema, but it's passable. And then there's like produce and stuff in there. And my favorite side is the Amish show up, get you some whoopie pies. Yo, the baked goods are bomb. And it's like you're just gonna get fat going in there. But if next time you're in Philly, stop by Reading Terminal. Oh, so yeah, Adam. Let's see. I say since the convention center's so close, walk up to South Street and go to Jim's. Jim's Steaks. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't ask for French fries because they don't have them. But they had a fire. They had a fire, so they've rebuilt it. So I'm not exactly sure if that's changed. But Jim's is a good spot. It's in walking distance. It's a nice little walk, and it's good to walk that off and go back to your hotel. Uh, and across the street from Jim's is Ishkabibbles. It's a purple building, and they have the best chicken cheesesteak in town. You heard it here first. Are they from Peoria? Caterpillar. There's a giant caterpillar in the airport. There was a giant caterpillar like shrine. Nuts and dogs, nuts and dogs. Boats and hoes, boats and hoes. Oh yeah, don't do that. Oh, and I'm sorry to all my Chicagoans. I love Chicago. I love the second city. I can't mess with a Chicago hot dog with the sport peppers and the seeded roll. Oh, and the whatever those things are in there, crazy. Yeah, I think I've had these nuts in the house. These nuts. We're like 13 years old, you guys. Hey, Chris, what's going on? You were running through the airport like, oh shit. Yo, man, I don't like running. And I had a brisk gait. I had a brisk gait. But I was like, man, it's especially nowadays, I ain't trying to miss that plane, bro. And I made it and everything was fine. But it's just like, maybe let's talk about this, especially where we are in the world. What are you talking about, D? Caterpillar or John Deere? What are you guys talking about? Are you talking about ketchup on hot dogs? I can't keep up. July says, I like Dick's food out in San Diego, but I'm too East Coast to like that disrespect. Oh, Dick's Last Resort. Even if it's supposed to be fun. That ain't fun. That's not, I don't know, man. That ain't fun for us. I don't know who finds fun in that. Yeah, tell him, Adam. Yo, we throwing hands. Hey, Scott Kurtz. Yes, ALA is definitely in Philadelphia this year. I'm surprised you're not up on that. Yeah, it's going to be a big show. I'm going to be well cemented in the middle of that thing. Shout out to my man Scott Kurtz. What up, Scott? So we seem to be talking about beepers, hot dogs, dicks, and all these all these nuts. These nuts. We are all 13 years old, you guys. Jardy, I will allow you your phrasing of a cheesesteak. Seattle dogs are a big thing in here, and I'm not a fan. That's right. Shout out Scott Curtis, the P and Dubs, Pacific Northwest. What's on a Seattle hot dog? And also, I will say this is not a thing in Philly. There are no wiener stands. Pause. We might have to talk about this. Yo, the young people have weaponized hot dogs. Is the worst thing in the world to eat a hot dog in public. You don't even call them hot dogs anymore. They call them glizzies. Yo, you can't be eating glizzies out here, yo. Hey, yo. What are you doing? You can't eat that. And somebody, I can't remember, it might be in Cincinnati or something, opened up a hot dog stand called Glizzies. And she's making a killing. Foot long glizzies. What? Cream cheese and grilled onions on a glizzy. Oh wow, Julian. Glizzy is DC slang. I got co-opted by the rest of the nation. I feel some type of way. Yo, I did not know that. I love July always repping for the DMV. Thank you, brother. I feel like I am but a sponge. I am but a vessel for all of this regional information. It's whipped cream cheese, like the hold on, shout out to Wawa. You see me repping my sweatshirt over there. Oh yeah, that's the new joint. Bra says They're starting to call it the footlong shaboing boings because of some TikTok. Or I saw somebody it was like, "Yo, you just ate 2 shaboing boings. Hey, yo." Yo, yo, Angel, you still here? You gonna weigh in on this? Oh wow, separate. Now I know Nathan's hot dogs. That's the Chicago joints, right? And once in a while you'll see a hot dog stand. Philly does not do hot dogs. No glizzies up in here. You like if somebody's like, "Yo, let's go to a hot dogs," there ain't no hot dog stand. But oh, hold on, yo, tell them July when I was out at Awesome Con in DC earlier in the year. We went to Ben's Chili Bowl. Shout out to Ben's Chili Bowl, a classic fixture in the area. I've heard that maybe the area has gotten a little gentrified, but Ben's Chili Bowl is still sitting smack dab in the middle of the street. And they had one of the things they had a chili dog. And they weren't glizzies or anything. Yo, that's what we're talking about. They're talking about the guy. Did I see you the video of the guy waking up to down 4 glizzies and was it down and washed it down with orange diabetes? Yeah, that's where the comments went wild on that dude. So then the Coney dog. What's on a Detroit hot dog? How did we get? How did we get here? But there's some kind of like things that I seem to know are true. There are a lot of people that are really against putting ketchup on a hot dog. That just seems to break some sort of fire code. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Ross says I was delivering an embroidery machine in North Jersey near the PA sign, and there was a hot dog stand. See, it was in Jersey, it wasn't here. And all they sold were hot dogs, birch beer, and mugs of buttermilk. Oh my, oh my, oh my stomach's bubbling. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything to add to that, you guys. So yeah, now like I said, now that they weaponize hot dogs, but then, well, if you are still um, grilling out or having some sort of outing or barbecue or cookout or whatever you do with whoever you are. Oh, is Kurt still here? I just remembered when I had a cookout at my mom's house and you guys were there, and there was a funny joke. Angie and I shared a moment. I won't repeat it here around hot dogs, but with all of this nitrate hate, and I don't know how we got here. Do you still have hot dogs at your cookout? Yo, I am not going to say I just ordered another thing of Tums. Caitlin says there's a hot dog hut up my way. They only take cash, and I swear it is the best place. What's the name of the hot dog hut? Is it called the Hot Dog Hut? I need a t. No, I don't need a t-shirt. My bad. I take that back. That's great, Chris. I like the New York calls them Franks. Ronaldo says if you eat a hot dog with buttermilk, you should be taken to the mental hospital. Yo, you 7:30. Get in the van. Oh, okay. So July is going to speak on cookout glizzies. Of course, you gotta have the hot dogs, the chicken hot dogs, and if you reel the brats, yo brats, brat, and half smokes, yo shout out the little smokies. Oh, that's what they. Oh, that's very DC. There's a Ben Chili Bowl. They had the half smoke with the chili on it. So if I got this right, because I watched a video of somebody making. Oh no, I just saw something about burnt ends. Does anybody know anything about burnt ends? I made brats. They were bad. I didn't know if I was cooking it right, so everybody said they were good. All right, Caitlin, when you find out, let us know. Adam showing some restraint. I have kids, so when we have cookouts, I always throw in a few glizzies for friends. That's the going to be the new puzzle game on your iPad. Glizzies with friends. But I'm too old to eat that stuff. Word up. So okay, explain what burnt ends are. And JRD is a resident foodie, right? Because I saw somebody like so was like, "Yo, I'm gonna make burnt ends," and they cut up a bunch of hot dogs and I think brined them and then put him in the up. I can't remember, but then people were roasting him in the comments saying, "You don't make burnt ends with glizzies." So you guys, but burnt ends, I thought that was like barbecue, right? Somebody explain burnt ends to me, please. And also, I got to give a shout out. Oh, yeah, I think I need that T-shirt. Did you ever hear the barbecue scale, the barbecue rating scale? You can tell if. All right, you guys, get ready for this. You can tell if a barbecue spot is good if the mascot is a pig. It's better if the mascot is a pig wearing sunglasses. If it's a pig wearing sunglasses, wearing a chef's hat, also holding a plate of pork. So the further down the line you get this pig, the better the barbecue is. That's what I thought. The burnt end is the tips of brisket. But I thought they made a whole other thing. So, oh, Caitlin, say less. Nice. It's like that, y'all. And that's all. Um, yeah, I love it. I remember there was okay, so JRD is going to break this down. They aren't burnt. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're the literal ends of brisket that you roast and smoke for hours. And the ends get extra dark, pause. And when you baste them right, they develop an amazing bark that is just divine. Like Porky's. Wait, the movie? Hold on. There's a Porky's in Illinois. Because I think Mike Norton told me he worked at Porky's. Not the bawdy 80s franchise. But I think there's a BBQ spot called Porky's. A cookout isn't complete without rip. All right, who in this chat? Before we run out of time, let's do a ones and twos. And I haven't seen a Warringos, so we might not be doing that tonight. Let's get our ones and twos, you guys. I love that this is turning into a food episode. You know, one of you guys kind of scared me off of talking about food because, like, oh, I guess we're talking about donuts. And I was like, well, all right, maybe we won't talk about food. For my thrillers and grillers out there, for my tong snappers, who is nice on the grill? Put a one in the chat. If you um, are a smoker, put a two in the chat. That's a whole other thing. And what should three be? Three is if you don't cook at all and you show up at somebody's house with a plate, put a three in the chat. I want to see my thrillers and the grillers. Phil, that's a good question. Phil's the griller. I love it. Shout out to what? Wait, no, no, no. Hold on. The pig was playing a saxophone. You get 8 points for that. You just described the logos of the barbecue place that was a Glenside of Easton by Beer World. Yeah. What was the name of that place? I think it was like well, he was playing the saxophone. Bill, you're the only one that grills. The rest of y'all chickened out. All right, here you go. Shogun says, I will happily grill, but the smoker can do so much. Caitlin says, I'm going to say three, but we host. My hubby mans the grill. Okay. Ronaldo says one, and you can be antisocial if you want because you have to man the grill. July's got another key to hit. Wait, what about us like to come just to eat, but then end up on the grill cooking all day? I've been in that scenario. I just show up and they're just like running around, their heads cut off. Give me the tongs. I'm going in. That's a good four. I'll give you that one. That's tough. That you kind of get shackled to the grill, but I'm sure you're nice with it. Adam does all the cooking. Yes, you do. Oh, you're sauce boss, Bros. Bros a sauce boss. I like it. Do you make sauces and leave them at the house when you go to places? Oh, so JRD, you get down on the in the oven, right? Oh, Ronaldo, that's smart. The key is to have a cooler next to the grill with just your drinks. You got your special drink in there. I love it. Bill says also Brazilian culture is big on barbecue grilling. Yeah. Uh, oh, so Bill asked about if there are eggs in potato salad, and I think Shogun's answering that. Yeah, I don't know how we got here, you guys. This has been fantastic. Um, I really enjoy grilling. There's some things that I'm not. I will say this, and I'm sure we all have our kind of things that we're not the best at. Everybody wants to say that they're the best at everything, whatever. I will say that I'm 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 nice with steaks. I can hit that. I get a little iffy with pork. I'm getting better with pork. I don't have enough experience doing chicken wings. I've not made a lot of chicken wings on the grill. I have some of my buddies who can like it's almost like wizardry. They're like waving a wand on that. But like just the way my house runs, I'm the only one that eats chicken wings. So I'd rather just go order some chicken wings than try to grill a thousand chicken wings. Um, but I'm I do make good ribs. So we're talking about Hawaiian potato salad, Hawaiian mac salad, mayo, salt, pepper, a little onion, very pared down. What? Lepore Q was the last name by Beer World. I don't remember that place. The pig is in a flame covered chopper. That's crazy talk. But think about it. All your favorite barbecue spots. And before we get out of here, let's for you barbecue enthusiasts, shout out your favorite barbecue joint. I want to give a shout out to Rib Crib on Germantown Avenue. The place was, I mean, you know how Philly is. But they used to have one of the dudes. I think he passed a little while ago. He used to sit on a stool out front, like you're going into a jazz club, and he had a black dude. He was big like Dudley from Street Fighter. Had this giant handlebar mustache, and just sat there like this. And he like assessed you, and then you could go in. It wasn't like checking IDs or whatever, but he's just kind of like, "All right, you're good." It's one of the old school spots, like Ben's Chili Bowl, where there's like people's framed autograph pictures are all over the walls. There's like Muhammad Ali. with a with a rib in his glove. I think that's when you made it, guys, is when you have a stack of 8 by 10s in your car and you hand them out when you go to eat at places. Oh, see, rib crib, I would not. I don't. I'll look into that. I love rib crib. Dinosaur barbecue. That's great. I've got a big head and tiny little arm. Uh, what? JRD says the secret to chicken wings is baking soda. What are you talking about? Anybody else got a barbecue spot they want to shout out? There was one summer, me and one of my buddies were going to try to hit every barbecue spot in Philly. And that sounds like easy, but there's a oh, shout out to Sweet Lucy's. Ross, you know about Sweet Lucy's? That's good. That's good eating. That's out. Where is that? I guess it's kind of in the Northeast. Let's see what else is going on. Dude, I don't know how we we talked for an hour about glizzies, dicks, all these nuts, burnt ends. Bill says mutiny barbecue in Asbury Park is amazing. Yo, I need a T-shirt. Jared says Bessinger's barbecue in 17 in Charleston, South Carolina, not Piggy Park in Columbia. Same family, but the Columbia side is fond of pointy. Oh, JRD, come on. Haven't found Q as good in the 40 years of top passengers. Um, Piggy Park. But does anybody have a pig playing a saxophone as their mascot? Ronaldo says the other great place where I grew up is Sticky Lips. Pause. And there was a really great place in my area. Bross is kind of from the same area that I'm from. Um, damn it! What was the name of the place? It wasn't a fantastic name, but it was kind of like like the rib rack or something like that. I can't remember. And it seemed like the portions were getting smaller. The price is going up, but it's like, yeah, let me, like one of those joints where you get three things. Let me get the sausage, pause. Let me get a half rack and some cornbread, and maybe some like, you know, baked beans or some coleslaw or whatever. However, you set your plate up. It was like $30, and then you like the plate is bigger than the food. Like the ribs like roll it across the paper. I'm like, man, I pay how much for this? Oh, this is kind of like a chain, and I don't know if this counts. Dave's Barbecue, and that's a place where he said "skreek, skreeky dinky dink." Dave's Barbecue is one of those chains where I think they have one where they bring your food out on a trash can lid. Yeah, I guess that's supposed to be funny. Shogun says, I haven't tried to find barbecue recently. Caveman was good, but we don't live near it anymore. Caveman barbecue. I love it. Um, well, that was fun, you guys. It seemed like it started to ride off. Does anybody in here? Because there might be some vegans or some vegetarians. I'd hate to scare. Maybe all the glizzy talk scared some of y'all off. Jared D's putting menus in the chat. Um, but yeah, also I know like if I'm in town for something, yeah, tell them, Adam. Eating is out of control these days. Every meal's like $30. Yeah, word up. All right, here's my last one and twos for the night, and I hope July is still here. Chicken wings, flats or drums. Flats, put a one in the chat. Drums, put a two in the chat. What's your wing preference? And then we'll get out of here. Uh, Shogun says, got a joint not too far away with a giant pig scrap metal sculpture. Oh, wow. Smoked pineapple. Yo, we got flats, drums. I'm kind of a drum. I like drumsticks, but I understand like when people are like sciencing, like let's science this. Well, to have like pull, pull out game pause or how to like get all the show business off of a flat. Team drums. Bill says too because everyone dives on the flats. That's funny. I'll say that some of the best chicken wings I've ever had come from the Chinese takeout joint. You get three wings fried hard with uh shrimp fried rice. Now, to talk Adam said let's talk about stuff he can't eat anymore. I can't eat Chinese food anymore. It's real rap. I can't. I just can't. Like it's a wrap for me. It's just no good. But I miss it. JRD says, I drew a shirt for a friend who was a waitress at Chili's of a pig eating baby back ribs, and she won their St. Jude's donation contest every time she wore it. That's great. Pig eating ribs, that's so messed up. Yep. Ronaldo says that's nuts, right? And they somehow always have French fries at the Chinese joint. Because it always says like Szechuan and American. I mean, sometimes you can get a bomb cheesesteak from the takeout from the Chinese window. And as you know, you guys, for all you city folk out there, food always tastes better when danger is involved. So if you find yourself at 2:30 a.m. with your back against a wall, waiting for your order, it's going to be the best Chinese food you ever ate if you can get home in one spot, in one piece. Bra says Charlie's in Somerset Point, New Jersey, is wings with the tips on. Pause. That gets messy. Huh. Bill says Korean fried chicken wings, spicy AF, but so flavorful. Yo, there's a Philly, and for Adam, when you're in town, hit me up. But there's a couple of twice fried Korean wing spots. I think there's a Banchan, but there's another place, Cafe Soho, that's really good. Um, food is delicious. JRD, what's the name of the place? Ronaldo with the danger chicken. Ronaldo says 1,000%. If you have to keep looking over your shoulder while you wait for your takeout, you know that's the best meal. Yo, I'm fighting for my life. Number four, yo, right here. You snatch that bag up. Oh, first you got to put your money in the Lazy Susan, the bulletproof glass, and you turn the jar around, and then they bring your food out. And then you get up out of there, no loitering at the Chinese joint. And then there's like the suspect ATM out front with that like plastic sheet over it so people can't see your number. It ain't gonna matter because you're just gonna get stuck up. It's not like everybody's gonna be like peeking. They're just gonna like, yo, all right, I'm gonna stop there. Bill says the best Chinese place always has a faded light, a picture video, but no one cares. Well, nobody looks at that. Nobody ever looks at that. Shogun says for years the best teriyaki shop in Seattle was down on the sketchiest part of Third Ave. Yes, I'm talking about danger food. Got y'all going. They not only do Chinese standard, the grandkids run it and pare down the menu. Speaking of which, just pizza in Chester is so good. Sometimes they have like a little like almost like an ashtray that they open up and they put the little like the alien second mouth comes out and you put your money in it and you close it. I just saw some comedian was talking about that when the kid is running the counter doing his homework and answering the phone at the same time, the food is good. You know how it works, Ronaldo. All right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. This was fun. We didn't get anywhere tonight, but it was fun just talking about stuff. Um, so what should I be promoting anything? Hmm. Oh yeah, there you go. That's also a good place. So this one, the double fried Korean wing spot I was talking about used to be so exclusive. I don't think they let non-Asians in for a while. Like you would go in there and there were kids with like swoopy bang haircuts and like all black working there, and they was just like, look at you if you try to come in. You know, can we help you? Yeah, I just boba tea. Yeah, get out. uh, all right, I guess we're in overtime. Adam says the lazy Susan. It's like a hostage exchange, and you have to start eating it before you leave to deter the stick up kids from snatching it up before you open. You just gotta put a wing right to the face on your way out, or at least you gotta break the egg roll. Oh my goodness, we all live in a messed up world, don't we? Hey Jeff, what's going on? Jeff says my favorite place was run by three middle-aged Chinese dudes. Food was great, and at night there were Eagles cover. Jeff, where you been all night? Yo, Bill knows all the spots. Yo, that's true. If you walk in, there's a bunch of teenagers with anime haircuts. You know the food is trash. Guys, you guys. Oh, the Edgar? No Edgars. Guys, you all came to life when I said it's time to go. I know how you guys are. It's like when you have to put the kids to bed and you're like, they get all this energy. No, I don't want to go. Um, well, that was fun. Is D still here? I think D dipped out. I was gonna baptize D. I was gonna knight D tonight. But if he pieced out, I'll do it another time. Also, no Sue's pose because Sue's was not here. There was not a Ringo sighting, so I only do Sue's poses if Sue's is in the chat. Shogun, what's the name of the place? Were you looking too? You're like, he wasn't playing the saxophone, was he? I still can't remember the name of this barbecue joint. Like when I remember, it's gonna be like, that was it. It's kind of like it was like Rose's barbecue. You know what I mean? It wasn't great. You know I'm right. All right, you guys, let's wrap this up. This was fun. It was good catching up with you. Guys, this has been another JNN Jamar Nicholas Network production. Flaming Pig. You think you'd be on fire, right? Or burnt ends, right? Um, Fat Jacks. Rosie's. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Fat Jacks was okay. Not Fat Jack Comic Crypt, the comic book store, rest in peace. And Rosie's, yes, I knew I would just not remember that name. Jeff, that's fantastic. Um, but yeah, this has been really fun, you guys. I'm going to say goodnight. That's right. Let's say goodnight, John Boy. We're going to get out of here. We went over. But I do this for you. We all need tabernacle. We need snackernapples. And I will be back here if the maker is willing in 2 weeks. Um, and I hope that you will join me. Pencil been really good. Any Hard to Tell is really good. Coffee Beer with Jay is really good. Ashen Stream is really good. Everything, everything the light touches is yours, baby Bubba. And thank you. Good times, good times. And on my way out, I would invite you to become a patron of mine. There's a lot of good stuff going on my Patreon, and the community chat is dope. We were talking about like what were we talking about, like cornbread or something like that the other day. You can't get that talk anywhere else. But tonight we did the good thing. We said no to Saquon Barkley. Cut it out. All right, guys, let's go home. Guys, you've been watching Coffee Break with JN with your boy JN. Um, yeah, I had a really good time tonight. We had a lot of fun. We didn't talk about anything worth anything, but it was a lot of fun. I think Lazy Susan, uh, Dangerous Chicken. Did you talk about Earl? Is that a cornbread joke? Oh man, I'm not ready. So what happened? Oh, I go by many names. Philadelphia's favorite son, Captain Scholastic. John Cena. Billy Donahue. See, I knew what you were talking about. And this is for Ronaldo, the administrator of this facility. And also the captain of this ship, John Luke Picard. Come on, you guys. There are four Johns. What happened here tonight? You hung out with your boy JN, and we chopped it up nicely. But now, sweet caffeines, it's time to go home. Parting is so such sweet sorrow. And you watch me drink a cup of coffee from my mouth. And now that I'm out of coffee, somebody wake up Hicks. See you guys. Beware of pigs wearing sunglasses. See you next week. 2 weeks. Go to Heroes.